We're going to come through with a division. We don't know how rapidly we're going to be able to train Iraqis.
Are you suggesting if, in fact, they come through with divisions, we're going to reduce American forces?
I believe that that's exactly the purpose of getting foreign troops in. In fact, in southern Iraq today, we are handing responsibility for key provinces of Iraq over to the Poles and the Spaniards and the Italians, and we're taking Marines out. We're not replacing them with Americans.
So we're going to have a net reduction of American forces for
I'm not predicting, Senator. I don't know. Until we get these Ba'athist criminals under control, we're going to put in whatever it takes to do the job. But we are trying to get other people to fill in for us. We're trying to get Iraqis to fill in for us. And I think by the end of the year, early next year, we'll have a much better fix on what it takes to get through the year.
Do you have any expectation that you're going to be able to stand up an Iraqi army of any consequence in the next 6 months?
There are two different things here, and thanks for giving me the chance to explain it. We're working on training an Iraqi army, which is a 2 to 3 year project to produce regular units, lots of training, lots of discipline. You don't need that kind of an army to guard fixed power lines. You don't need that kind of an army to take over from Marines guarding hospitals. You don't need that kind of an army to guard banks.
That's the civilian defense force.
The civilian defense force, we believe we can have thousands of those people available within about 45 days. That's
within 45 days. And how about the police?
The police were standing up rapidly, and as you noted correctly at the police academy, they're not all equally good. I visited a group down in Basra that still are struggling. But up north in Kirkuk, for example, the Iraqi police have taken over the whole function.
The Iraqi police have taken over, well, okay. I find this kind of incredible. The picture you painted is, are there any substantive changes of consequence you are recommending to the President? Or is everything going along as planned? You kind of got everything on course here, and everything's pretty well in hand. I mean, you told us about how the military says we're well ahead of where we were in Bosnia. And are you happy with where we are right now?
Senator, I'm not happy with where we are right now, and if there's any way to accelerate anything, we're looking at it. We're looking at how to accelerate training Iraqis. I've talked about that at some length. We're looking at emergency ways of accelerating electric power production. Some of that is already underway. I believe the reason we were able to get the oil production up over 1 million barrels a day was because we brought in portable generators to provide electricity. That's the kind of thing.
The report called for what, 5,000 of those? Are they up? 550 diesel-driven emergency generators to be installed. Are they up and running?
I don't know. I can check that for the record. I don't know the detail, but that is an example of where we're looking at acceleration. We're looking at acceleration in some non-military areas. For example, up north, one of the big issues is so-called de-Arabization. A lot of Kurds and some Turks were moved out of their homes in a kind of slow-motion ethnic cleansing, and Arabs were moved in. The Arabs would be happy to leave, but it's going to take some money and some legal efforts to do that. We'd like to get that started more quickly than was originally planned. Your point, Senator, which I agree with, is there's a window of opportunity here. I can't measure how long it is, but I do believe that the sooner we move within that window, the better off we'll be further out in the future, and that money invested now, even if it's not quite efficient, will save us a lot of money in the long run, and money invested on the civil side can help bring down that $4 billion a month that we're currently spending on our troops.
My time's up, but I'm confused. General Myers, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, said if we get these 30,000 additional foreign troops, that it will not be enough for us to reduce our military in Iraq for months, possibly years. And he said we need more than 30,000, and even that. I don't get you guys. I mean, Myers says that. You're telling me we get these additional troops, we're going to draw down American troops.
Can I respond to that, Senator?
Sure.
The two pacing items that involve U.S. troop commitment is one, obviously, is the level of violence and the security situation we're currently facing. We have to get that down. And the second thing is the involvement of multinational forces and also the Iraqis themselves, the civil defense forces that the Deputy Secretary mentioned, and also the Iraqi Army and police forces. Those are our pacing items. And General Abizaid, when he looks to the future, does not want to look beyond March. But even with looking towards March, what he sees is definitely 2 multinational divisions, probably by the end of September, and the possibility of a third that hasn't been committed yet, but the State Department and Defense Department is working with that. If that does happen, that will reduce U.S. commitment by 1 division and also 1 brigade. And we're moving very quickly, obviously, to get the Iraqis to do more for themselves, to help defend their own people. And that's in its embryonic stages. As those two items, the level of violence, multinational division participation, and also the Iraqis themselves, will see us reduce the U.S. troop commitment.
These forces are nowhere, and I'd be interested to see about your civilian force. But anyway, I thank you.